Each day we wake up with a finite reserve of mental energy. Yet instead of using it wisely, most of us let it drain away on meaningless distractions, stress, anxiety, and negative thoughts. We get caught up in pointless arguments, obsess over others' opinions, and lose focus due to the endless stream of negativity on social media. And by the end of the day, we find ourselves asking, why do I feel so exhausted when I haven't even done anything physically demanding? The answer doesn't lie in how much work you do, but in how you spend your mental energy. When you fixate on things beyond your control, overreact to trivial matters, or waste time on pursuits that add no real value, your energy slowly depletes without you even realizing it. In this video, we will explore Stoic principles that will help you master your energy, so you can not only build resilience and remain undisturbed by fleeting emotions, but also act with greater wisdom. If you're ready to reclaim your focus and take control of your life, let's begin. 1. The Dichotomy of Control. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, a simple yet profoundly powerful way to manage your mental energy. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught there are two kinds of things in life, those we can control and those we cannot. By understanding and applying this principle, you will learn to direct your energy toward what truly matters instead of being consumed by the meaningless. Think about the situations that mentally drain you. You worry about what others think of you. You get angry at rude drivers. You feel frustrated when your plans don't go as expected. But if you pause and reflect, you'll realize that most of these concerns are entirely beyond your control. You cannot force people to like you, change how a stranger behaves on the road, or dictate every variable in life. The only thing you can control is how you respond. Once you grasp this distinction, you will stop wasting energy on what cannot be changed and instead focus on what is within your power. Practicing this mindset feels like lifting a heavy weight off your shoulders. Imagine you are at a crucial job interview. You've prepared thoroughly, yet anxiety creeps in because so many factors are beyond your control. The interviewer's mood, unexpected questions, or the competition from other candidates. But if you embrace the dichotomy of control, you'll understand that these are not where your energy should go. What you can control is your preparation, your responses, and the confidence you project. By focusing entirely on what is within your power, you not only reduce anxiety, but also maximize your chances of success. Applying this principle does not mean being indifferent to life or passively accepting everything that happens. On the contrary, it allows you to act with greater wisdom and decisiveness because you are channeling all your energy into what you have the power to change. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting frustrated and honking in vain, you can use that time to listen to an insightful audiobook. If someone unfairly criticizes you, rather than arguing back, you can ignore them and focus on something more meaningful. If a plan doesn't go as expected, instead of drowning in disappointment, you can adjust your strategy and move forward. The world is full of uncertainties, but you always have the power to choose your response. That is the true strength of the dichotomy of control. Once you accept that some things are simply not yours to govern, you will feel lighter, stronger, and more in control of your own life. 2. The marathon mindset. Using energy wisely. Life is not a sprint, but a long journey that requires endurance, patience, and a wise allocation of energy. Many people burn through their energy in the early stages of a plan, a job, or a relationship, only to quickly exhaust themselves when immediate results don't appear. The Stoic marathon mindset reminds us that true success does not come from fleeting bursts of excitement, but from the ability to persist over time. Stoics do not chase impulsive emotions. They know how to regulate their energy to remain steadfast in their long-term pursuits. Consider someone who starts working out with the goal of achieving an ideal physique. They spend hours at the gym in the first week, push themselves into a strict diet, but soon find themselves exhausted, discouraged, and ultimately give up. This is the consequence of lacking the marathon mindset. In contrast, if they understand that meaningful change comes from small, consistent efforts repeated daily, they will approach fitness with sustainability, without overexerting themselves, but simply showing up bit by bit to build a lasting habit. This is the same approach Marcus Aurelius took toward self-improvement, not seeking overnight transformation, but committing to steady practice each day to refine himself over time. This mindset applies not only to physical fitness, but also to careers and relationships. Someone who constantly jumps from job to job in search of rapid success may miss the opportunity to grow deeply within a field. Someone who expects instant perfection in a relationship may feel disappointed when their partner doesn't meet their expectations immediately. Stoics understand that everything of value takes time to develop, and they are willing to embrace challenges along the way, rather than expecting a smooth, effortless path. Seneca once said, "No mountain is too high to climb if you take it one step at a time." Applying the marathon mindset prevents you from being swayed by short-term temptations or easily giving up when faced with difficulties. When you focus on the long journey, temporary setbacks no longer dictate your course. If a business venture doesn't yield immediate profits, instead of hastily labeling it a failure, you can analyze, adjust, and persist. If a study plan doesn't produce the desired results in a few weeks, you recognize that knowledge requires time to accumulate, rather than losing motivation. Those who embrace the marathon mindset are not shaken by short-term fluctuations. They do not let a bad day derail their entire path of growth. They understand that the key is not speed, but endurance. They know their energy must be allocated wisely, not wasted on fleeting emotions, but invested in goals of true significance. And it is through this mindset that they not only achieve success, but sustain it over time. 3. The power of stillness. In a world that never stops moving, where people are constantly consumed by work, news, social media, and endless distractions, stillness has become a luxury. We spend our days reacting to everything around us, forgetting that sometimes the best way to take control of life is not to do more, but to pause, observe, and reflect. Stoicism has long emphasized the power of stillness, not as a passive state, but as a powerful tool for cultivating calm, clarity, and self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Once you attain this stillness, no outside force can disturb you. Stillness in Stoic thought does not mean inaction. It means acting with intention, unshaken by impulse or external noise. When you embrace stillness, you not only hear the world more clearly, but also listen to yourself. You realize that not every situation demands an immediate response. Not every monstrous negative comment warrants a reply, and not every problem must be solved at once. Stoics understand that impulsive reactions often lead to poor decisions. When someone insults you, instead of lashing out in anger, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, does this truly matter? Is it worth losing my inner peace over? A single moment of stillness can prevent unnecessary stress and regret. Stillness is also the foundation of focus and wisdom. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, your mind scatters, losing its ability to think deeply. Imagine a cluttered room you cannot find anything in it. Your mind works the same way. If it is filled with endless thoughts and anxieties, you cannot think clearly or act effectively. This is why Stoic philosophers regularly sought solitude, reflection, and journaling. Marcus Aurelius wrote each morning, not for others to read, but to remind himself of what truly matters. Applying stillness to life does not mean renouncing everything and living in isolation. It simply means carving out moments for your mind to rest and reset. Practical ways to cultivate stillness include setting aside at least 10 minutes a day to sit in uninterrupted reflection, turning off your phone, and stepping away from technology for a set period, practicing meditation, or taking solitary walks without music or podcasts. These moments give you the space to reflect, ask important questions, and gain mental clarity. When you learn to embrace stillness, you will realize that it is not emptiness, but a precious space that allows you to master your emotions, thoughts, and life. In this chaotic world, stillness is not just an option, it is a source of strength. 4. Negative visualization. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques for training the mind and maintaining composure in adversity is negative visualization. Unlike pessimism or excessive worry, negative visualization is not about dwelling on dark scenarios needlessly. Instead, it is a mental exercise that prepares us for possible misfortunes, reducing shock and suffering when they actually occur. Seneca once said, "We should familiarize ourselves with the thought of losing what we cherish most. That way, when it happens, we will not be caught off guard or broken by it." Stoics believe that most suffering in life does not stem from the event itself, but from how we react to it. When something bad happens unexpectedly, we tend to be shocked, panic, and lose control. However, if we have already visualized such an event, we can face it with greater calm and a proactive sense of acceptance, rather than allowing it to overwhelm us. For example, if a business owner envisions the possibility of a financial crisis, he will prepare contingency plans, cut unnecessary costs, and establish strategies in advance. When the crisis actually occurs, he will not be paralyzed by fear, but will have a clear course of action. Negative visualization also teaches us to appreciate what we have. When we imagine the possibility of losing a loved one, we learn to treat them with more kindness and love. When we reflect on the fragility of our freedom, we cherish each moment in which we still have control over our choices. When we acknowledge the inevitability of death, we stop wasting time on trivial matters and instead seek to live a more meaningful life. Practicing negative visualization does not mean living in fear or negativity. It is a form of mental training that strengthens us against life's uncertainties. A simple way to practice this is to spend a few minutes each day imagining a difficult situation that could arise and asking yourself, if this were to happen, what would I do? How would I handle it? Over time, this mindset shifts you from being reactive to being prepared, allowing you to meet adversity with resilience and tranquility. 5. Detachment from outcome. One of the main causes of stress, anxiety, and mental exhaustion is our obsession with results. We often place too much expectation on things beyond our full control. Whether it is the outcome of a project, how others react, or success and failure in our careers. When things don't go as planned, we feel disappointed, discouraged, and may even lose the motivation to keep going. But Stoics understand that attachment to results only leads to suffering because the outcome is never entirely in our hands. Epictetus once said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, Wish for them to happen as they do, and you will find peace. Letting go of outcomes does not mean abandoning goals or effort. It means focusing on the processes rather than obsessing over the final result. Imagine you are a marathon runner. If you fixate solely on winning a medal, you may feel pressured, anxious, and lose the joy of training. But if you focus on each step, each breath, each training session, you will enjoy the journey and improve daily, regardless of the final outcome. This not only helps you train more effectively, but also reduces stress, sustains motivation, and allows you to perform at your best. Stoics apply this mindset to all aspects of life. When writing a book, they do not worry about whether it will become a bestseller. They simply focus on writing the best they can each day. When speaking in public, they do not obsess over how the audience will judge them. They concentrate on delivering their message with clarity and sincerity. When working, they do not seek validation from others, but instead dedicate themselves fully to completing their tasks with responsibility and commitment. This approach allows them to remain calm, undisturbed by success or failure, and continuously move forward. Practicing detachment from outcomes relieves pressure, helps you focus on what is within your control, and allows you to live with greater freedom. The next time you take on a task, ask yourself, am I placing too much weight on the result, or am I simply embracing the process? Once you learn to let go and allow things to unfold naturally, you will feel lighter, more at peace, and free from unnecessary disappointment. 6. Mastering speech and thoughts. Our thoughts and words have immense power in shaping our lives. Yet if left unchecked, they can become a source of stress, conflict, and wasted energy. The Stoics understood that how we think and speak not only affects us, but also influences our surroundings. Seneca once said, "The less we speak of a trouble, the less power it has over us." This means that the more we dwell on hardships, worries, or negativity, the more control they gain over our minds. Instead of complaining, criticizing, or reacting impulsively, Stoics choose to master their thoughts, speak less, but with more weight, and focus only on what truly matters. Controlling speech does not mean remaining silent or avoiding conversations, but rather speaking with intention and care. Before speaking, Stoics often ask themselves, is this necessary? Is it helpful? Will it cause harm? If words hold no real value, it is often better to remain silent. Mastering speech not only helps avoid unnecessary conflicts, but also preserves mental energy. Engaging in meaningless arguments does not just waste time, it traps you in a cycle of negativity. Stoics choose to listen more, respond slowly, and speak only when it truly serves a purpose. Just as with speech, our thoughts must be managed to prevent energy from being drained by unnecessary concerns. If our minds are filled with negative thoughts, we become trapped in anxiety and fear. Epictetus taught, it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. This means that by changing our perspective on a situation, we can regain control over our emotions. When facing difficulties, instead of seeing them as misfortunes, Stoics ask, what can I learn from this? They do not allow negative thoughts to dominate, but instead focus on what is genuinely useful. Practicing control over speech and thought requires continuous self-awareness. Try spending a day observing how many of your words hold real value and how many are merely emotional reactions. Train your mind by eliminating unnecessary worries and concentrating on what you can change. As you cultivate the habit of mindful thinking and intentional speech, you will find your mind lighter, less affected by external distractions, and more energized to focus on life's meaningful pursuits. 7. Intentional habits. Our lives are not shaped by random moments, but by the habits we practice every day. Repeated actions gradually become part of who we are, and it is these small, consistent behaviors that determine who succeeds and who remains trapped in procrastination and disorder. Marcus Aurelius once said, "We become what we repeatedly do." This means that if you want to take control of your energy and become a better version of yourself, you cannot let life drift aimlessly. You must establish intentional habits, deliberate actions that you engage in each day with purpose and direction. Stoics understood that habits do not form by accident. They are the result of repeated choices. If you begin each morning by checking your phone and getting lost in social media, you are training yourself to be easily distracted. If you spend hours every night consuming meaningless content, you are cultivating a passive lifestyle, one in which your mind absorbs but does not reflect or create. But if you consciously build positive habits, such as spending 10 minutes each morning journaling, reading, exercising, or reflecting on the previous day, you are laying the foundation for a life of discipline and meaning. Stoics do not focus only on grand actions. They recognize that true transformation comes from small, consistent efforts. One simple yet effective way to build intentional habits is by asking yourself key questions at the end of each day. Seneca advised, "Each night before going to bed, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I waste time? What can I improve tomorrow?" Reflective journaling not only gives you clarity on your actions, but also allows you to make deliberate adjustments instead of drifting through life unconsciously. When you consistently ask yourself these questions and seek to improve, you gradually build a system of habits that propel you forward rather than hold you back. Intentional habits are not just about daily actions, but also about shaping your environment to support them. If you want to read more, place a book on your desk instead of your phone. If you want to spend less time on social media, remove distracting apps from your home screen. Stoics understood that willpower is finite, but the environment can be structured to encourage the right choice. They did not rely on fleeting motivation. They built systems that kept them aligned with what truly mattered. When you start taking conscious control of your habits, you not only increase productivity, but also create a life with direction, where every action serves your long-term purpose. 8. Turning obstacles into energy. No one can avoid adversity in life. Everyone faces challenges, whether it's failure in their career, loss in relationships, or unexpected events that completely alter their path. But what separates the strong from the defeated is how they respond to these difficulties. Stoics do not see obstacles as barriers, but as tools for growth. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that what obstructs you is not stopping your progress. It is the very thing that forces you to adapt, strengthen, and move forward. When faced with hardship, most people react with complaints, fear, or avoidance. But Stoics take a different approach. They accept adversity as an inevitable part of life and ask, "What can I learn from this?" If one door closes, perhaps it is guiding you toward a better path. If you are rejected from a job, maybe it's an opportunity to find a place where you can truly grow. If you experience a major failure, instead of seeing it as the end, consider it a valuable lesson, a chance to refine your strategy, cultivate patience, and build resilience. Stoics understand that no hardship is meaningless if we use it as a stepping stone for growth. Looking at history, the most successful individuals were not those who avoided difficulties, but those who transformed challenges into fuel. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. But instead of seeing failure, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Stoics share this mindset. They do not waste time blaming fate or sinking into self-pity. Instead, they use adversity as an opportunity to become stronger. Applying this mindset does not mean pretending to be happy in the face of hardship. It means learning to accept reality, focusing on what is within your control, and acting with a steady mind. When challenges arise, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "How can I use this situation to become better?" The moment you shift your perspective on adversity, you will see that what once held you back is now your greatest teacher, shaping your willpower, resilience, and adaptability. Stoics believe that adversity is not an enemy, but life's most powerful mentor. 9. Invest energy wisely. Every person's energy is finite, and how we use it determines the quality of our lives. Stoics understand that not everything is worthy of our time, mind, and effort, and that wasting energy on meaningless distractions is a major reason why many feel exhausted, lost, and unable to achieve their goals. If you spend your day arguing, consuming negative news, or dwelling on useless anxieties, you are squandering a valuable resource that could instead be directed towards something meaningful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time debating what a good person should be. Be one." This reminds us that instead of focusing on trivial matters, we should take real action to improve ourselves and the world around us. Using energy wisely means learning to prioritize and choose what truly matters. This applies not only to work, but also to relationships, daily habits, and how we consume information. If you invest your energy in valuable pursuits, such as learning, honing skills, maintaining your health, and nurturing meaningful relationships, you will find your life becoming richer and more fulfilling. Conversely, if your energy is scattered on petty concerns, endless debates, or shallow distractions, you will quickly feel drained without achieving anything of real significance. Stoics do not allow themselves to be pulled by external forces. They take active control of their time and effort, directing them toward higher purposes. A practical way to manage energy effectively is to learn to say no to things that do not contribute to your growth. Seneca warned, "If you do not control your time, others will control it for you." Dedicate your time to what helps you progress, rather than letting yourself be consumed by unnecessary obligations or toxic relationships. Ask yourself daily, "Is this truly worth my energy?" If the answer is no, do not hesitate to walk away. When you cultivate the habit of focusing only on what is meaningful, you will find that your energy is no longer wasted, but invested in goals that foster growth, create value, and lead to a more purposeful life. Stoicism is not an abstract philosophy reserved for ancient sages. It is a practical way of living that anyone can adopt to master their energy, strengthen their will, and lead a more resilient life. When I first started learning about Stoicism, the first thing I realized was how much energy I had wasted on pointless arguments, on worrying about an uncertain future beyond my control, and on recurring negative thoughts. But as I began practicing Stoic principles, especially the Dichotomy of Control, I gradually learned to focus only on what truly matters and to let go of the rest. Applying Stoicism to daily life is not something that happens overnight. But if, each day, you make small changes, controlling your reactions, staying composed in stressful situations, and focusing only on what you can influence, you will begin to notice a profound difference. You will no longer feel drained by meaningless distractions. You will have more energy to pursue your true goals, and most importantly, You will find peace in knowing that you are in control of your own life, rather than being swept away by external forces. You now have in your hands the Stoic principles to master your energy, strengthen your mind, and live a more meaningful life. But knowledge holds value only when put into practice. Ask yourself, what will you do today to make a change? Will you start focusing on what you can control? Stop worrying about what is beyond your reach, or learn to detach from outcomes to live with greater ease. Small changes today can lead to profound transformations in the future. Hit like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Keep exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophers by selecting the next video on your screen. See you in the next one.